Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supergirl. This time we're on Season 5, Episode 6, titled Confidence Women. And in the last one, we had Dangerous Liaisons, which had Kara and William working together to investigate Andrea's criminal conspiracy theories, and the accusations that William had on her based on his 2-year wall of investigations. And what did we have? We had them running into Rip-Raw, who turned out to be Russell Rogers. I think Rip-Raw was the one that William said killed his best friend, after Russell had actually been dating Andrea for like a few weeks or like a few days, and then afterwards he stopped returning calls and he just went missing. So when William went to investigate, he found Rip-Raw at Russell's house, and he said that no body was ever found. So I think as soon as he said that, I think it did seem like a pretty plausible explanation that, okay, maybe Rip-Raw is actually Russell. Like, maybe they just winter soldiered him. They recruited him, brainwashed him, and turned him into their own personal assassin. I think I don't know if he was. I'm pretty sure. I think it's safe to say from the beginning he was under Leviathan's like recruitment / payroll, like pretty much all the other ones were, like all the other assassins that the DEO had in their custody and that they actually questioned, all said the same thing, that they didn't know who hired them, and knowing Leviathan, they would not just give their name out to the people that they hired. They actually do it under like the utmost kind of secrecy. So yeah, but like none of the assassins actually knew who it was that hired them, or like what they were told what to do, and then they were given the money or whatever, and then that was the end of that. So yeah, Leviathan is ever kind of obscure in their recruitment methods and just like in how they operate. But Rip-Raw was tasked with stealing a weapon from Lex Luthor's vault at Fort Summit, and firing said weapon into the ice cap, creating a massive tidal wave that would take out numerous cities in a very short amount of time. So the team managed to stop that, and then we had Rip-Raw unmasked, which is when Russell Rogers was revealed to be under the mask, and then now he's in custody as well. So we had all of that. We had Kelly and Alex celebrating their anniversary. I mean, their 1 month anniversary. Their something anniversary. That's for sure. Their something anniversary from since they started dating. Except Alex never showed up because the tidal wave business came up, and then she had to go out and protect citizens and be a hero and all that. But then Kelly caught wind of this and saw her in danger of construction cranes and all sorts of deadly objects just falling on her, but she managed to create a force field to protect herself and some citizens out in the open. But seeing all of that reminded her of how she lost her original girlfriend was it her fiance? I don't know. I think it might have been her girlfriend. I don't think she was engaged in the army. No. Yeah, I think it may well have been her girlfriend. I don't remember her saying that they were actually engaged. I think I remember her saying that they couldn't be out while in the army. They couldn't actually be together. But I don't remember her saying that they were engaged. I think it is girlfriend, but her original girlfriend in the army died in action, I think she said. So seeing Alex in such danger reminded her of like what she has now, but also what she could lose, and the fact that she could lose it again, and that sent her into like a kind of a very, very sad kind of spiral of emotion, which Nia caught onto in the ladies' room and offered her some consolation and some friendly time there for a bit of a chit-chat. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to explore if we actually get some scenes of Nia and Kelly being friends. But yeah, I think that is pretty much all I had on that one. We had Lena, I don't know if this happened directly in the last episode, but we did have Lena doing some very, very even more questionable stuff, really, with her resources. She managed to teleport Malefic into her lab, and then made him a very, very kind of a very, very ominous and yet like you know, like questionable promise of helping him kill Jean in return for his ability to control minds and inflict his will upon other people's minds, which she took his ability first and then kept him locked up in the cell and said, no, like if you knew anything about my research, you would know that I would never help you kill another person, because killing anyone is where she draws the line, because her whole this whole project is about stopping people from hurting each other, or stopping people from having the mental capability of actually wanting to hurt someone else. So yeah, so she ended up actually mind controlling him instead. So I assume he's still being kept in her lab. I don't know what, I mean, I honestly don't know what more use she could have for him, unless he actually, like, if he leaves her lab and then starts to get his memories back or something, and try something on Team Supergirl again. But I mean, now she knows what his intentions are, that he wants to hurt other people, especially, you know, the super friends. So, you know, she like, in good conscience, she can't actually let him out knowing what he wants to do and all that stuff. So she might actually just keep him in a cell in her thing. So mind control and captivity, those are the paths that Lena's going down. Anything but killing. But yeah, she's in a lot of pain, and Supergirl needs to recognize this quickly and act quickly before Lena actually does something terrible. In act of actually acting out on this pain, as she is doing now. So yeah, but that is pretty much all I had from the last episode. So episode 6, Confidence Women. Let's go. Oh, it's the Shadow Assassin. That must be the one who killed Catherine O'Connor. Yeah, oh damn, and she's a ninja. Whoa. Wait, is that Andrea? The Shadow Assassin is Andrea. Okay. Oh, that makes sense actually, yeah, because the Leviathan woman said she wanted Andrea to sort out the Rip-Roar problem.
I want to save him. He's important to me.
So that's what she was there for.
I can reach the facility, but Supergirl is guarding him personally, and I can't get past her. I'm asking as a friend. We're not friends.
Ooh, ice cold. Yeah. She doesn't have any friends. Not anymore.
You're Lena, the new kid, right?
Oh, this is young Lena Luthor.
My parents didn't come for visiting.
And Andrea.
Why didn't they come? My father runs a successful business.
Casting choices are pretty great. Yeah. Especially for Andrea.
Come on.
Yeah, I think that's something Supergirl's done really well. Especially with Alex and Kara as well.
Do you want to meet your soulmate only to watch him die tragically?
No.
Hey, there was space for 2 of them on that boat. On that door, okay? There was space for both of them.
Waste a single moment.
Consider yourself fired.
In the kindest way possible.
I mean, Lex's latest plan is to seed the atmosphere with kryptonite.
What is kryptonite?
According to
That
Lex,
was...
it's his greatest weakness.
Can he do
Wasn't
it?
that
No, not yet.
Lillian's plan as
First,
well,
he has to
way
figure
back
out
in
how to
season 2?
sublimate it into vapor, but what would Rose Dawson do?
Probably not give up half her space on the boat. On the door even. I don't know why I'm calling it a boat. Yeah, Andrea's properly Lara Crofting this up, in some sense.
The world around her turned to stone and
Leviathan,
Wait, what?
What do they want?
your father, Bernardo Rojas, he's not well, is he?
How do you? He's a brilliant man.
So this is where Leviathan recruited Andrea then? This must be when they sent him after her.
You want to save your father or not? Take the medallion. Accept your fate.
She gonna do it? Oh, so she can't just take it but then give it to Lena?
You always. There will come a day when we will call upon you. Be prepared.
Yep, so this is pretty much in advance recruitment of Andrea's services for Leviathan.
Look, finding this place was hard enough. Seeing who came before or after, it's impossible. I was so close. I'm so sorry.
So once she finds out the truth about this, how long is Lena gonna hold that grudge for?
Their latest smartphone smartphone contains a faulty chip causing devices to explode. But
Oh.
Obsidian Worldwide's gain.
So the table turns in their favor. Also, Obsidian is still a thing now then, but Andrea just inherits it afterwards, presumably.
Lena! I had no idea you'd be here. I didn't know that you were in London.
Uh-huh. And she's wearing the medallion. She's wearing the medallion.
I knew it.
Here comes the grudge.
The medallion was there, and you're the one that-
Here comes the grudge.
There's nothing you can say. We're done.
So the Luthers betrayed her, then Andrea betrayed her, then the Luthers betrayed her again, then Kara. 4 betrayals. 4.
Ever since London, you've been a completely different...
I'm Andrea, by the way.
Oh, I know. I'm Russell
So they
Rogers.
did have a good history
You're the lady
then.
I blew off.
I'm starting my own company, focusing solely on cyberbionics.
Oh.
Which is fortuitous on many levels.
Like the stuff on Rip Roar.
But
Great.
Because I'd like to ask,
A+, A+.
which could have gotten very dicey if you were my employer.
I just remember you saying you wanted to make a name for yourself outside of your family, and I would hate for some jerk to ruin that.
Kara sticking up for her from day one.
Publish the emails.
I would never do that, Lena. But if you change your mind, the invite always stands. Every Friday night.
It's not. It's even worse because now she thinks she's incapable of friendship because everyone she trusts is going to betray her. That's the whole point of that.
I know.
God damn.
6-month anniversary ruined.
He's very handsome.
Oh crap.
Sorry, I don't
It's
have any
Granny.
cash on me.
It's the Granny of Doom.
Just what you promised. Your service.
Oh, and she's here to
There will be a
collect.
time when Leviathan will call on you. A day from now, your father will be accused of insider trading. Stocks will tumble. The company will be
Jeez,
decimated.
they can manipulate things however the hell they want. However the hell they want.
Pajamas.
Whoa! So the medallion has powers of shadowy transport and an awesome suit. A very cool suit. Boom. Okay, so this is where she begins her shadow assassin kind of lifestyle.
Hi, it's really good to see you.
Are you waiting for someone?
Characters running into each other is such a fanfic trope. Such a fanfic trope. Is it gonna work for him? Oh god. How does the Granny of... Oh shit.
You know Leviathan required complete discretion. You were careless. He got too close. Our secrets are more important than any life.
He saw a medallion. How is that getting too close?
He has a prototype that can bring soldiers back from the brink of death and then some. He can be very useful to you.
So she volunteered his services to save his life. Huh. So she's not the traitor we all thought. Damn. And this is where they changed it. This is where they Winter Soldiered him. This is where they Winter Soldiered him. It sounds very intimate.
I know you've been looking for a place for Obsidian North's new headquarters. I think National City could be a good fit.
So she sold Catco to manipulate Andrea.
Why don't we discuss the details?
But what does Lena get to do if Andrea has control of Catco, though?
It was magical.
Is she gonna show her? She's gonna show her. She's gonna show her shadowy assassin tricks. So it offers teleportation too? Oh, we've seen it in action, so I'd say yes.
It wasn't a metaphor.
Who did this to you? I can keep you safe.
So does he still have...
Leviathan.
And he reveals the truth. Just like that.
It'll disable all agents that get in your way.
Oh, jeez.
Going from here,
Brainy. Oh, crap. And now she's gonna save Rip Roar. Yeah. Everyone standing completely still looks pretty suspicious, huh? We're gonna get Andrea versus Alex. Is that how this is gonna go down? Oh, that's how it's gonna go down. That's how it's gonna go down.
Is an erroneous assumption.
Oh god, no, no, Brainy, please, no. Oh god.
Do no harm.
Oof. Yeah. He'll wake up with an ice pack. Oh, and the spider assassins, no. Oh god.
Make sure the shadow doesn't get to rip roar.
Oh crap.
I cared about you more than anyone else in the world, and I never would have betrayed you.
Oh no, Lena, don't do... Leviathan is not going to be happy about this. Oh Jesus, no. Oh crap.
But they came from the darkness within you. And that is something you can never escape.
There's a darkness within her? Like alien darkness or some kind of mythological darkness? Is that Lena with a kid?
I found it, Mother.
Oh no, that's her mother.
In simulation.
Oh god. That was her mother in her vision.
Medallion may have had are gone.
Damn.
Can you translate these markings?
Well, she definitely has her mother's face.
Now access the memories of Eve Testmarker and tell me everything she knows about Leviathan.
Crapsicles. The medallion is theirs. The medallion is theirs. Okay, well, that's the end of the episode. But damn. Wow, there is a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to unpack here. So, Andrea and Lena have history. They have tons of history. They have a lot of history together, dating all the way back to St. Helena's boarding school years and years ago. Lena was the new kid, and Andrea decided to befriend her. And then they got to drinks and chatting, and they forged a friendship. So that happened. But then in the middle of their chit chat, Lena told Andrea about about her search for the medallion of a crater. I believe that was her name. And how her mother used to tell her stories and stuff like that, and how she wanted to find this medallion, like for its powers and whatnot. So they went all Tomb Raider together and decided to go on a hunt for this medallion. But then Andrea got to it first, and also ran into the grandfather of Doom in the pit of Leviathan. And that's where I think that was like a kind of advance, like a recruitment in advance for Leviathan, like them telling her to take the medallion and harness its powers or whatever. And well, actually, no, just to take the medallion for her own thing, because they needed her ready for when they would actually call on her services. But Leviathan is... They know how to manipulate people and even events to their own will, because they said, like, oh, right now your father's on the brink of suicide, your company's on the verge of bankruptcy and all this kind of stuff. But if you take the medallion and, wait the time to heed our signal, especially if you just take the medallion now and keep it to yourself, don't give it to Lena, keep it to yourself, we'll help avert your father's suicidal tendencies, we'll help the company and all that stuff. So she does it, and then the other company tanks in money, and Obsidian North sales go flaring up, and her father's all better as well. So they know how to manipulate even events and events like that to their will. They do something good for someone else, they will eventually be able to call on the other person's favors, and if they refuse, then they'll just kill everyone they love, presumably. It seems very kingpin-y. But yeah, so they recruited Andrea with the medallion, and Lena, I think, went down into the pit and she saw that it was gone. So I think after that, I think Andrea did manage to convince her that maybe Lex got to it first. And I mean, I figured that was the assumption she'd go with. Like, maybe she wouldn't want to believe it, but she would eventually accept that, oh, maybe Lex was better. Maybe Lex was better than her, like always, and maybe Lex got to it first, and just wanted her to still, feel the disappointment when she would go after it and not find it anymore. But then she goes to another party with her ex Jack, and then finds Andrea wearing the medallion as a necklace. I mean, you would think, given how she knows she betrayed Lena by not only taking the medallion but lying to her about it, you would think that she would know better than to just, you know, just to flaunt it around in the open, especially if like knowing how big Leviathan is, how they have people everywhere, like especially if someone from Leviathan sees her wearing it out and about in public, you know, like they'd probably be like, you know, like just hide that thing. You know, we didn't give you to wear it as a fashion piece. It's an actual powerful weapon that's going to help you respond to our service on this. Actually hide it and take care of it. Like don't just wear it some other, you know, especially like since it looks like some fashionable jewelry, it just makes it even more tempting for like a thief to try and rip it off her neck and run off with it, you know. So, you know, like, you know, just even if Lena doesn't find out about it, there's still other possibilities. So if someone steals it, then, you know, that like Leviathan might pin that on you. I mean, they might still get it back, but they'll still pin it on you and just give you one more chance to actually keep it safe. But yeah, then upon discovering that she was betrayed by Andrea, Lena pretty much cut off that friendship. Like put some distance between it and stuff like that. So yeah, so then that pushed her off the edge, and then she kind of came to the conclusion that she can't really trust anyone anymore, because she's been through a lot of betrayal in her life, and what she feels like is like that pain coming through as well. So, you know, she's been betrayed by Lex multiple times, Andrea, and then Kara as well. And I mean, the multiple times for Lex could probably count as a fourth, but who's really properly counting anymore anyway? But yeah, so betrayal has pretty much occurred too many times in Lena's life for Lena to actually properly, heartily accept that anyone could actually want to work with her or be with her for true purposes. But yeah, I mean, and again, it just makes you sympathize/empathize with her even more, like her knowing that, you know, like her refusing to believe that she can actually walk into a relationship with someone with a full heart of love without expecting to be betrayed in some way or at some point. Like, you know, like, it's happened to her so much that she's like, you know, anytime she meets someone new and makes some kind of proposal with them, she's like, okay, I need to make sure that I get what I want out of this, because if I don't, and if I actually risk opening myself up to more, I might just get stabbed in the heart again, you know, figuratively, maybe even one day literally. But, you know, it's the price she has to pay for actually having been betrayed so many times, and for feeling like that's literally the only route for her anymore. So yeah, but she discovered the truth, and then she broke up with Jack on her way to getting back to National City. She even said, like, in Metropolis, she's only ever going to be known as Lex Luthor's sister, and she's going to bear that cross as a burden her whole life. But if she moves to National City and gets gets closer to and works closer to Supergirl, she actually has a chance to redeem herself and use her name for something good, for something better. So yeah, that was that. And then we met Russell Rogers, and I think this was the twist, the bigger twist that I didn't really see coming. And I think it became more plausible the more we saw that Andrea, like what Andrea had been through with Leviathan, and the fact that Andrea did have good intentions with the people she met, but obviously once Leviathan came into the picture, that all went to shit pretty much. You know, once Leviathan came into the picture, she had no choice but to manipulate the people around her and the people that she loved for Leviathan pretty much. So she met Russell Rogers in a bar, and I think they did beforehand they did have some kind of business meeting together, but then they both skimped out on that. And then it eventually went on to meet in a more friendly way, and then it went on to more romantic endeavors, which worked for a while. But then Leviathan showed up, like the Granny of Doom from Leviathan showed up and called on that favor from years and years back. And again, manipulating her. So, you know, they said, you know, if she didn't do what they said, they'll just do what they did to Lord Industries and tank Obsidian's sales and all that stuff, and then her father will return to suicidal thoughts and actually act on them this time, like walking up to the roof and jumping off and all that stuff. So yeah, so they manipulated her into using the medallion. So the medallion, I think, well, I mean, at the end of the episode, the guy said the medallion isn't actually what gives her her powers. The medallion is just like a key, like it allows her to activate her powers, but like her powers are in her all along. So I mean, so like some kind of like shadow spirit or shadow power or something. I mean, the medallion gives her, I mean, she said the medallion gives her the ability to move through shadows, but I'm pretty sure it gives her the badass suit and the mask as well. And I'm pretty sure the kung fu is a learned thing, like just realizing she actually needs to learn how to fight, maybe. But yeah, so she was the one who killed Catherine O'Connor then. Yeah, she was the one who killed Catherine O'Connor. Like she was that shadow assassin. But yeah, so the medallion of a crater. Yeah. I was thinking of like what her name could be, but I mean the medallion is named after a crater, so would her name be a crater? I don't know. Like, a crater sounds more official than Shadow Assassin or Shadow Lady or Shadow Killer or something. Shadow Killer just sounds very, very menacing, but a crater sounds a lot more official. But yeah, so like the medallion is literally just like a conduit, like a way for her to activate her powers. But the powers are actually in her all along. So yeah, but because Russell found the medallion, the Granny of Doom found him holding said medallion, and then hired two of her men to beat the crap out of him, and then comes yet another twist. Like I mean, yes, I was wrong all along. It was never them using Andrea to get to Russell. It was never Andrea like working to find someone for Leviathan. It was Andrea having been careless with the medallion and allowing Russell to find it again. She just leaves it lying around in these places, like keeping it like a safe box or your purse or something. Like I mean, if you go snooping through your purse, that's a bit of a yeah. But you just keep it in a safe place, like literally just leaving it out on the counter of your bathroom or whatever. Like that's just asking for Leviathan to pop up and teach you a lesson. But you know, but Russell found it, and then he was on the verge of death. Like them saying make it look like an accident or make it look like a home invasion or something. And then her knowing that I feel like had they done this episode before the Russell Rogers episode, I don't know if it would have made much more sense, but I think it would have just increased the fact that it's even more obvious that Russell was Rip Raw. Because with Russell saying that he worked in cyberbionics, that's like now it's an even more obvious telltale sign that, you know, it provides history. So I think playing this episode before then probably, playing this episode before then would probably give more history in Andrea's sense, but I think the history with William was more impactful and much more necessary for the reveal of Rip Raw being Russell. But with this one, it's like revealing the history, like as to how he actually became Rip Raw and all that stuff. But he said he works in cyberbionics, and even Andrea said his work is able to bring soldiers back to life from the verge of death, and even more than that. So, you know, they used his own technology and his own work to turn him into their perfect weapon. So it was never a recruitment process. She actually offered them his services as a soldier using his own tech as a way to save his life. So yes, I mean, and again, I think that also brings the fact that, you know, because of how manipulative Leviathan was and how ruthless they are with their manipulation tactics, it's like it was never even a brainwashing. They literally just made him their weapon and probably like threatened to kill Andrea if he didn't do exactly what they wanted whenever they wanted him to do it. So yeah, like so they were threatened with losing each other if they didn't do what Leviathan wanted them to do. So yeah, and I think like they both saw that. They both saw that Andrea and Leviathan saw that they were both useful to them. So there was no like much more like necessity in actually keeping them apart than actually losing them both. So they allowed them to do what they want so long as they followed Leviathan's orders. So yeah, so that was that. But cyberbionics in itself, I think did actually prove to be like of interest to Leviathan. So they actually did go through with Andrea's bargain to actually have him be their soldier, to be their Ripraw and whatnot. So that's that explains how Ripraw came into their into their employment, but not so much in the case of the alien spider or the other one. The other one they knew of was the Shadow Assassin, I think. Was there another one? No, I think there was Ripraw, the spider alien, and the Shadow Assassin. So like they don't know who the Shadow Assassin is. I mean, except for Lena, she knows because Andrea revealed it to her. But they do know that's another assassin under the employment of Leviathan. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's the stuff with Russell. So she actually volunteered his services to save his life. Not as manipulative as we all officially thought. But yeah, Andrea, she's lost people. And she's lost so much of her life and her freedom to Leviathan. And she's lost her freedom in return for security. She's lost her freedom because Leviathan have made the promise of actually keeping her father and her company and the people she loves alive. She's tried it before. She when the Granny of Doom first came up to call on her services, she said no, and she said, fine, you don't want to work with us, fine, we'll just return your company to its really down in the dumps state, and then we'll just make your father feel like shit again, and this time he'll actually go through with his thoughts. So again, it's just like they know exactly what they need to do, and they are more than willing to do it to complete their objectives. But what their end game is here, I'm not entirely sure. Like, sure, they manipulate these people and these events to work exactly how they want them to work, but I mean, I don't know if they're after world domination, or if they just want to be able to control society to the way that they want it to work, or maybe both. But I don't know. But now, now both sides are beginning the quest of actually investigating Leviathan now. The DEO is going to start to pull all their intel on what Leviathan is, and even Lena is searching Eve's memories to see what Leviathan is. And Leviathan's inscription was on the medallion, in that little kind of symbolic inscription. It was like it actually had Leviathan written on it. So if they actually had something to do with the original story, I mean, because we don't know how far this organization dates back. It could date to very, very historic times, like very, very, very deep in history. So, the chances are they could have been orchestrating events for years and years and years. But now it's like it's now that they're actually coming to light in modern day. I mean, I think maybe even a good guess could be like until now they've managed to stay hidden in the shadows, quite literally. For as long as they want to, but now that they're doing stuff that's popping up on Supergirl's radar, now that's why that we can actually see who they are and what they're doing and stuff like that. So, like had they stayed off Supergirl's radar, chances are they could have gone unnoticed even longer. But I'm hoping assuming this season does cover the taking down of Leviathan, hopefully they actually do it right and not some kind of really easy peasy takedown. But it's Leviathan, so I doubt anything's gonna be easy with them. But Andrea, I think I can. I mean, look, this episode offered us a lot of great history and a lot of very expansive history in terms of like what she suffered and like how much she's lost because of that initial deal she made with Leviathan to save her dad and her company. So I think it's a lot easier to actually empathize with her now. Knowing what she went through and knowing what she has been going through at the hands of Leviathan, so it's easier to understand that. And of course we see Lena's point of this as well. I mean, Lena even officially rejecting Kara's first kind of friendship proposal with game night and stuff like that, like saying like all I was looking for here was a business partnership. I'm not looking for anything more. She wants to be able to have more because of past experiences. She knows that, or at least she believes that she can't have more without opening herself up to more possible hurt. And she doesn't even know Kara well enough. She just everyone in the past has seemed nice enough to want the best things for her, but then they've lied to her and they've manipulated her and kept her in the dark for so long. So she's afraid of that happening with Kara. But then the one time she actually does open up, and then years later, the reveal happens, and from someone else who manipulated her and lied to her for years. I mean, the reveal didn't even come from Kara. I think that's one of the things I actually hated about the reveal. Like, is the fact that it came from someone who obviously hated Supergirl so much that he would happily twist those like her motivations and reasons for keeping her in the dark and all that sort of stuff. And he even mocked Lena for having been in the dark for so long, like him saying like, oh, well, at least I'm never gonna die a fool. Like, I knew all along, and it took you this long to find out, and everyone's been hiding it from you. So hearing it from someone like him in such a way is even worse for her than actually taking the time to hear it from her best friend, who likely would give her. Kara did still get the opportunity to reveal it to her, but at the same time, it's like unbeknownst to her at the time, Lena had already known for a long period of time. So her thoughts on Supergirl and Kara were already twisted beyond repair. So yeah, but again, this episode just gives us a great opportunity to empathize with both Lena and Andrea and find out where they're coming from and see what's made them, and like everything that's happened to them to make them the way they are today. But yeah, and even in the end, like after, I think it was because it was because I think it worked both ways, because it was because it was because Russell told Kara about Leviathan, that they killed him, but then Andrea told Lena about Leviathan. Wait, did she? I can't tell. I think she might have. I don't know. I'm gonna be a little bit cautious here and say that she might have, because Lena found the Leviathan inscription on the medallion anyway, so she found out that name either way. Andrea told her all of this history, and she told her about having taken the medallion and all that stuff. So I think she may well have told her about Leviathan, or maybe that there's an organization out there that that's been manipulating her for years and using her for all this time. But then she found the name Leviathan on the medallion and put two and two together, and then told Hope to search through Eve's memories for Leviathan information. But then because they both revealed this information, like maybe she didn't even even if she didn't tell Lena who Leviathan was, she still told her all this history that she had with them. So that puts Leviathan in enough danger. So it worked. In that way, the punishment works both ways, because then Russell loses his life, but then Andrea also loses Russell. So Leviathan probably kind of did a heads or tails thing, or maybe just kind of evaluated them both and thought about who would cost them more to lose and who would cost them less to lose. And they thought, and Andrea has been there with them since the beginning, so she will prove to be more useful, and she got them Rip Raw in the first place. So all they had to do was they knew how much Andrea cared about Rip Raw. They knew that if anything goes wrong, Andrea's gonna save him from DEO imprisonment anyway. So him actually telling Kara about Leviathan was just the final kind of straw in the hat. I don't know a better metaphor for that one. Or analogy. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But either way, they figured that Andrea's been Andrea has more history with them, and they have a much deeper deal with Andrea. Like, Andrea's the one they've been manipulating for the longest, besides from Eve, of course, because I think she was recruited at 16. But Russell was only a part of the deal to keep Andrea in line. But now, if she loses Russell, then she's going to be more compliant to follow Leviathan's orders, and she'll know that if she steps out of line again, they'll happily go after someone else and finish off the job again this time. So Russell loses his life for leaking Leviathan secrets and the name, and Andrea loses someone she loves for leaking Leviathan secrets and history. So yeah, it works both ways, but that is exactly how Leviathan works. You work for them or you lose everyone you love, one at a time, one person at a time. But yeah, again, just a great episode to kind of shed that history of Leviathan and how they work and who they work with and all that kind of stuff. So in that sense, I think it was actually a really well done episode, actually showing us like what Lena and Andre's history together and apart has been like. Betrayal on one side, manipulation on the other. You blend them together, and it's just like a chemical reaction of pain and suffering, all at the hands of Leviathan. All at the hands of Leviathan, and Leviathan even had Lex under their thumb. Like he he was doing everything they wanted him to do, and maybe unbeknownst to him. I don't think Lex was actually like aware of their efforts to try and manipulate him. I think Eve was even originally sent to Lex under Leviathan's orders, and then he sent her to work with Lena instead to try and manipulate her. So, you know, even Lex didn't get the job done either way that time. So they had Andrea moved up a position with their orders anyway. So I think even with Obsidian North, I think they've invested in Andrea because of her tech as well, because they're aware of everything she's doing, of all of her work, of all of her technological advancements. So I think they're waiting for the right time to invest in those more physically as well. So. Yeah, and of course with Lena's work on using her lenses for mind control, that's also something that they're very likely keeping an eye on, especially with Eve, at least physically in Lena's kind of control. So that sounds kind of wrong, but I mean under her employment anyway. So they're Leviathan. They're keeping an eye on all of this stuff. So I think now that both parties, now that both Lena and the DEO know of Leviathan's name and somewhat of their involvement, they are going to start a deeper investigation into who's really the monsters here, who's really the bad guy here. So now they know that Andrea isn't as much the bad guy as she is being controlled by the bad guy. So yeah, the hunt for Leviathan, the investigation for Leviathan begins. But yeah, again, this was just a great episode to see them actually working, them actually showing us and exploring more of Leviathan's kind of interference with Andrea and Lena's lives, and how they've actually been like pulling them apart and then pushing them back together again, and all that kind of good stuff. So good to see familiar faces again, with especially with Jack as well, Lena's ex. And I think the first time we saw him, I think he was dead. I think he was killed by his assistant, and then she was using his body as like a nano chamber or something, or like some kind of nano figure, like nano, something to do with nanobots, with nanotech. I think he was revealed to be dead all along, I think, and then his assistant was the real antagonist in that story. But good to see another familiar face popping up from the past, so that was cool. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. Great piece of history. Looking forward to seeing how much more of Leviathan's interference in mankind's history is going to be explored, if anything, and just looking forward to seeing how the team combats Leviathan's presence in National City and how they actually combat Leviathan overall. And also looking forward to seeing how Andrea and Lena actually move forward from here. Andrea having lost someone she loves, and Lena now moving forward with her tech as well. I mean, that move from Lena as well, like at the end, like threatening to actually have Rip Raw killing himself, like Russell killing himself. Like, I mean, I don't know. I doubt she would have actually gone through that. I think that was just an intimidation tactic to use against Andrea, because I think, again, her project is about doing no harm. So even if it was someone making someone else hurt themselves, I don't think she would have actually gone through with it. But seeing Lena in that position, like seeing how desperate she was for the medallion, that was still that was still worrying to see. I mean, everything Lena's been doing is worrying to see, so it's nothing new. But at the same time, it's like that would definitely fall against her protocols and against her overall project goal. But now Lena has the medallion as well. She's given away the medallion, and I think that was also another reason why Leviathan actually killed Russell in the end as well. Like her having given away the medallion to someone else. So now she's probably either gonna have to get it back, or something's gonna happen in that regard. But waiting to see what it is, and look forward to seeing what it is. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. So hopefully we can see some sort of reparations in terms of Lena's betrayal belief, like her belief that, you know, she'll just get betrayed no matter what she does or no matter who she allies herself with. But hopefully we'll see that getting repaired. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. So that was Supergirl Season 5, Episode 6, I'm confident women. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next in the season. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.